It happened just past midnight. A faint creak from the front door jolted me awake. Not again. Through the security feed on my phone, I saw a familiar shadow, the woman hunched and fidgeting, slipping a master key into my lock. Karen, the HOA president who'd made it her life's mission to inspect my property like it was community property. I held my breath as the door inched open. She stepped inside, flashlight sweeping across my living room. The same one she'd threatened to fine me over last week. But this time, I was ready. Because earlier that day I'd painted a thin, invisible layer of blue dye mix right across the doorframe, the kind that doesn't wash off easy. She had no idea her little midnight visit was about to make HOA history. 2 months earlier, life was quiet. I'd just moved to a small lakeside neighborhood after my divorce, looking for peace, not politics. My days were simple: coffee at sunrise, painting on the porch, feeding the ducks. But in HOA territory, peace is always temporary. At first, it was small things. Notes on my mailbox about improper flower colors. A warning about visible garden tools. I ignored them, until I noticed a pattern. Every time I went out, something had been moved in my home. At first I thought I was imagining it, until the day I found muddy footprints in my hallway. Karen was the type of woman who treated authority like oxygen. She didn't just run the HOA, she was the HOA. She once bragged that she could enter any property for inspection under community bylaws. And with her clipboard, pearl necklace, and permanent scowl, she looked more like a warden than a neighbor. She'd knock on doors during dinner, take photos of lawns, even measure fence heights. But with me, it was personal. Ever since I refused to repaint my door acceptable beige, she'd been watching. And when I caught her on my camera peeking through my window one night, I realized this wasn't about rules anymore. It was about control. I tried everything. Reporting her to the HOA board? They were her friends. Calling the sheriff. No proof, they said, so I installed cameras, hidden ones. 3 days later, she came again, pretending to deliver a notice. But when I checked the footage, she'd actually walked around back, unlocked my gate, and gone straight to my shed. That's when I noticed something strange, and when she wore gloves. Every time. She knew exactly what she was doing. The next week, she filed a formal complaint claiming I had unapproved modifications inside my home. Things she could only know if she'd been inside. That's when I stopped being scared and started planning. I wasn't going to call the cops this time. I was going to expose her, publicly, undeniably, and permanently. I set my trap 2 nights later, a clear coat of paint mixed with indelible blue dye, brushed right across the doorpost and handle, invisible in daylight but permanent on contact. I adjusted my cameras, double-checked the motion sensors, and waited. At 12:37 a.m. she came. Same gloves, same flashlight, same arrogance. She slipped the key in and pushed. The door opened once, but not before her left hand brushed the paint. I didn't move. I just watched. The next morning, I walked to the HOA clubhouse for their weekly meeting. And there she was, Karen, sitting at the front, still clutching her clipboard, with blue stains smeared all over her hand and sleeve. The room went silent. Someone whispered, "What happened to your hand?" I stood up, calm as ever. Maybe she can explain how that color got on my door. I pressed play on my phone. The video feed of her breaking in, projected for everyone to see. She froze. Her voice cracked. "That's ache." But it was too late. By the end of the week, Karen was removed as HOA president. The board issued an apology, and the sheriff finally took my trespassing report seriously. They asked if I wanted to press charges. I said no. Her reputation was punishment enough. That blue paint stayed on her hands for days, long enough for the whole neighborhood to see exactly who she was. Sometimes, justice doesn't come with a gavel. Sometimes it comes in the form of a little paint. And a whole lot of patience. I didn't set out to humiliate her. I just wanted my peace back. And as I watched the sun rise over the lake that morning, I finally got it. Quiet, bright, and beautifully blue.